You Geek TV.
I don't know what studios we're on with 2024 in terms of horror movies because we've gotten 4 implantation horror movies this year. Immaculate, Alien Romulus, The First Omen, and now Cuckoo. But Cuckoo really stands out because this shit here has haunted me in the weeks since I've seen it. Let's get into it.
Please let me in right now! Please let me
Welcome back to You Geek TV. I'm your host, Jarius, Unapologetic Geek. And here we are at another edition of the Unapologetic Review. And this time I am talking about Cuckoo, which is surprisingly one of the better films I've seen this year. It had some good trailers or whatever, but I really didn't expect a whole lot from this one. I ended up really liking it. On the front end, of course, I'm going to give a spoiler-free review. And on the back end, pause, I'm going to share just a few thoughts, mainly with the creatures that are in this film. So I'm not going to be going over the whole plot or anything like that. It's just some things I have to say about the creatures, and I got to spoil it. Without further ado, my spoiler-free thoughts. First thing I can say is the performances in here are really good, led by Hunter Schafer. She plays this girl who moves with her family into like this small, I guess it's like this small spot in the mountains or something like that. And it's not in the United States. I'm not even sure geographically where we are in this film, but whatever. It's very atmospheric. Like the town or the little area, it's not even a town. It just looks creepy. She's working at this lodge. And just everybody is kind of aloof and kind of weird in a way. And there are some shots in this film where they're just looking out into the woods, and you find yourself kind of looking for whatever is there. You never really get a clear picture of what it is that's looking at any of the characters, but you know something is out there. And a big scene, which this is not a spoiler, this is actually in the trailer. There's a scene where Hunter's character is on a bike and she's just riding home. She has some earphones in. By the way, I don't understand why people do shit like that, like put earphones over both of your ears while you're either driving or on a bicycle, but whatever. Look, that's your life to live. That's your risk that you can assume. Good luck out there. But anyway, she's on a bike and she's riding home at night from her job at the lodge. And it's such a creepy scene where she looks down at her shadow and she sees someone running behind her and they have their hand out, and the camera kind of pans over and it's this what looks like a woman, but she has like some goggles on and some red eyes, and that shit was bananas. And when you see that scene in the film, it's taken up a notch from how it looks in the previews. And I just loved it. And it's one of many scenes that kind of pop out in my head. And there's this big indicator when the creature is near, or when it's getting ready to attack or whatever the case may be. And once you see it, it kind of hits you out of nowhere every time. You don't see it coming. And it's effective in really heightening your senses in that moment and causing that uneasy feeling. And instead of just going with a traditional jump scare, they make you kind of linger with that indicator for a while before they ultimately get to the scare. Now, I will say Cuckoo, in terms of its jump scares, it isn't really all that scary. But on the other hand, the story is so effective in building up these creatures and its own lore that it becomes, again, unnerving throughout the runtime of the film. You kind of uneasy in any scene, any given scene. You're really uneasy as you're watching the screen because you don't know when this thing is going to appear. And once you once you get that indication, it's too late, man. It's too late. Just like for the characters, for the viewer, it's already on you. Cuckoo is a really good time. I highly recommend any horror fan check it out. Of course, horror is very subjective. I could love it and 1,000 people could hate it or whatever the case may be. But it's honestly one of the better films I've seen this year. And honestly, like on a psychological level, the only rival for it right now would be Long Legs, which I thoroughly enjoyed as well. So that gets us to our verdict. Cuckoo is absolutely worth your time. Get out, go and see it, support it. It's great when little films like this, get a lot of support and word of mouth, and Cuckoo is definitely worth that. So for me, Cuckoo is an unapologetically legit film. That's a 4 out of 5. Go check it out. Now, a little bit of spoiler talk. If you haven't seen it, stop right here. Go check it out. Please come back. The creatures in this thing, nightmare fuel. Really. Like, it's some bullshit. So the title of the film, it concerns a bird, a cuckoo bird, which the cuckoo, I don't think it's completely extinct. Maybe it is. But anyway, these birds were known for going into nests, laying their eggs, and leaving the another parent to to raise their um, honestly they're creatures. But anyway, it raised their birds. Then when those birds hatch, they essentially just destroy everything. Like they're chaotic animals for the most part. And somebody looked at that concept and said, "Hey, let me do this as a horror film," and that's how we got Cuckoo. And these creatures are all led by a mother. And what this thing has done is it preys on women in the town. So when someone is like staying at this particular lodge, it comes in and it has this creepy thing where it makes people feel like they're going through something that just like happened, like somebody just going and opening the door and closing it or making sure something is locked. They'll repeat that cycle in their mind like 3 or 4 times before getting knocked out, and then it has like this the only thing I can even compare it to is in DC Comics, the Canary Cry. It has this cry that it does to kind of hypnotize women, and then it knocks the woman out. And this was so unsettling. It reached down in its crotch area, it pulled out what I can only assume is like a egg, and what it's gonna do is implant its egg into the woman, and when the woman makes love to her male partner and the deed is done, it's correct to assume that the woman is pregnant with the cuckoo's child. And somehow, some way, well, no, I know exactly how it happens. The scientists, once they know that a cuckoo has impregnated someone, gets that person to come back and bring their child who is grown up at this point, and then that's when the cuckoo tries to come back and get its seed, and this just plays out in an insane manner over the course of the film. The thought of that is so unsettling. Like this shit kind of kept me up at night, man, thinking about like the implications of this shit. I I woke up from a dream from that shit after I watched this film. And I watched it pretty late when it came out. And it still unnerves me, man. Like the whole way that creature preys on people, and how it just it implants its egg into another woman and basically has other people to raise its child for them. It's very reminiscent of the xenomorph in a way. That's the only thing I can really compare it to. But yeah, man, it's some unsettling shit. Good shit, but unsettling. Have you seen Cuckoo? Let me know what you think in the comments. Continue to like, continue to share, continue to subscribe. And thank you for all the support that you've given me. More videos and great things to come. Thank you for all the new subscribers as well. You're more than welcome to dilly dally around. But yeah, just check me out. And until next time, I'm Jarius, Unapologetic Geek, and I am out.